everyone, and welcome back to the GeekWave. This is the low-budget show. It's the show so low it has no budget. But we got a 54% increase in viewership, bringing us up to 6.9 million people watching. Obviously, I don't know. Let's talk the Emmys. I like the Emmys. I'm more of an Oscars guy. I'm more of a Globes guy, because I think those award shows are more pretentious and silly. But the Emmys is from the Academy. It recognizes television. It was a very interesting show this year. And it was pretty much good. I don't have any complaints. So we're going to talk about it. I like doing these discussions about award shows. It kind of brings to light like how, insane and incestuous this industry is. And that's always exciting to me. We were off for a week or two. And there was some news that came out, but not much I genuinely want to talk about. So I don't know how deep into the weeds we're going to get on some of this stuff, but we'll see how it goes. First off, we do have to bring up a sad topic because James Earl Jones has passed away. He was an older gentleman, which I get it. He was 93 and it's going to happen, but he was a legend. He was a legend. And to have him go, the work he's done, not just in Star Wars or The Lion King, but Conan was incredible. Field of Dreams was incredible. He is just one of those guys that was a legend and incredible and deserved the world. And he will be missed. Absolutely incredible talent. So, R.I.P. James Earl Jones. You go to the great beyond, the everything beyond the horizon that is seen, whatever they say in Lion King. We love you. We'll miss you. Incredible stuff. Speaking of incredible stuff, oh man, let's jump into it. The Minecraft movie got a trailer. It's called A Minecraft Movie. Looks like shit. I don't know what else you want me to say. I think a lot of the good graces that people had for Jack Black is wearing off. I think a lot of the good graces people had for Jason Momoa is wearing off. It looks bad. There are so many other ways you could have handled this. I don't know why this is the one you chose. The Mario movie kind of proved you should do animation for this and not have people do a Jumanji. Why does Steve look like a human but everything else looks dumb? I really hope it's not the case that Steve is trapped in the game for a long time and they have to save him so Steve has to go to the real world or something. It's kind of lame. Not kind of lame, very lame. I don't know. I would have gone full fantasy and have it be we're doing Game of Thrones, but it's Minecraft. Because at least that is kind of something. This is really nothing. And that is the easiest route. And the easiest route is probably the one Hollywood's going to take, no matter the instance. Because they hate originality or any idea that is worthwhile. Okay, moving on from there. What else do you want me to say? It looks like shit. Stupid idea, but who cares? Moving on from there, more casting announcements for the He-Man movie, which is officially happening. They're going to do it. We got Nicholas Galitzine. He's going to be Prince Adam / He-Man. We know Camila Mendes is going to be Teela. Well, now Alison Brie is reportedly going to be Evil-Lyn, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's a matter of time before she got sucked into one of these. At least this one, you can have fun. Be the sassy character next to the villain. Now, there's also rumors that Jared Leto is offered the role of Skeletor. And if that's the case, he can't keep getting away with it. What dirt does he have on people that he keeps getting to do this? Not even not even the stuff that is just presumed or assumptions about him or alleged. Just he's not that talented and his movies don't do bank. When was the last Jared Leto movie that made money? It's insane. If he's Skeletor, you just killed a lot of good graces again. It's like the Tron movie. You can't keep getting away with it. Quit ruining things I like from the 80s. You're not funny. You're not interesting. The last thing I liked you in was Blade Runner because you barely showed up in Blade Runner. And that was at least interesting. I don't know. Getting real annoyed, getting real pissed off with Jared Leto touching everything. But Alison Brie, I can see it. Who do we think they're going to get as Man-at-Arms? Who's like a grumpy guy they could get to do Man-at-Arms? Who's like a mustache guy? They're kind of going young. But that could be like an older character now. I don't know. Very interesting. I'm trying to think of would they do Nick Offerman? Do you think they'd want to go that obvious? I don't know. We'll see. What else do we have for news? There was something. Oh yeah, this is kind of interesting. So the writers of the kind of okay movie Beetlejuice, Alfred Goh and Miles Millar, or Miller, whatever you want to say. It's Goh and Miller, whatever. They've done a lot of stuff together. They are going to be tackling the comic book Ice Cream Man. That's right, folks. The anthology comic book, which is a good book. If you haven't read Ice Cream Man, it's a really good horror comic book. It's so much fun. So bizarre. And it's got a very distinctive art style. And it goes to so many weird creative directions. All kind of like under the, genre and flavor of, like classic nostalgic corruption. I don't know how you describe it, but it's a scary book. It's kind of an interesting read. These two guys, I don't think their track record is that good for scary. It's more kitsch, but if you do Ice Cream Man kind of kitsch, but go more extreme, less Wednesday and Beetlejuice, I mean, I'm not against it. I think there is definitely areas to play in there. So that's kind of cool. I am open to seeing that. I'd like to see it. I like this comic book. It seemed like one that was always going to be adapted. Like, there's just some books where you're like, oh, it's just a matter of time before they try that, just because it's kind of like a crossover success and people kind of know it in the mainstream. This is one of them. And after the boys swept up and did everything, let's do horror comic books. Let's stop parroting superheroes and do horror comic books. That's what we should do. So I really like that. And I have one more piece of news I want to talk about. This is just kind of related to stuff I enjoy, and I figured we'd talk about it in here. I'm a big soda person. I love soda. I think it's so much fun. I love drinking. As I'm talking, I am drinking a Pepsi product right now, unspecified because it's not important. But Pepsi is kind of the part of the topic we're going to be talking about in this part of the news. We talked about like the Cola Wars, the Soda Wars movie that was announced a while ago. Well, guess who just got attached to direct? An unknown talent. You might not have heard of this guy named Judd Apatow. Have you heard of him? He's not really made anything recently. A lot of bullshit that went to streaming, honestly. So he's going to be directing the Soda Wars movie. Okay, fine. Spielberg's producing. That means nothing to me. He puts his name on a lot of stuff, so whatever. I'm fine with it. I'm just glad we're actually moving forward with this project because it's probably going to be interesting to like two people, and I'm going to be one of them, and whoever the other person is going to be the person I end up marrying. I don't know. I'm excited. Like, I think Apatow is a good director. He hasn't really proven that of late, but he does have talent. I do think he's good. This is an interesting choice for that project. I hope it pays off. I guess we'll see. And that, folks, is all the news we have. When we come back from the little bittle break, let's talk about the Emmys and a bunch of shows that I didn't watch. Just kidding. It might just be Baby Reindeer I didn't see. You might not know this, or maybe you do. If you're watching this, you might know because you're as like obsessive as this stuff as I am. This is the second Emmys award show to come out this year because you might remember that last year they pushed it back a little bit because we had a little bit of a writer's strike going on, a little bit of an actor's strike going on. They couldn't have these people promoting their movies and stuff. But this is TV. I don't know why I said movies. And I guess it affected television more, so some of these people won 2 Emmys this year, which is kind of surprising. A couple of them. Not a lot. A few people didn't win Emmys this year that you're like, oh, that's surprising. I think we're like, this is, okay, let's get to this. Things are very different now. The cycle is constantly changing and television lifespans are shorter and shorter. Like a show like The Simpsons that has a peak like 8 seasons dies out in like season 10 but gets to drag on till season 36. Some would say that. I think it's still good. And you see like the lifespan of a show like that now is something like Rick and Morty, where it has like a good 4 seasons, and then season 7, it's kind of like falling apart, and you're like, what are we still doing here? And streaming has destroyed that even more, where we wait 2 years for 8 episodes of a show we're going to forget about over the course of a weekend. So we're kind of seeing now like a couple of the shows that are always going to, in this cycle, get the nominations. I think we're going to see that for Abbott Elementary. That's going to be like a Big Bang Theory or Modern Family, where it's always going to get the awards recognition, even if the people don't get it after the first season, which could very much be the case. I think that's going to be the same for The Bear and Only Murders in the Building. Like, there are some legacy noms this year where I'm just surprised they even bothered nominating them. It was an interesting show. I think, Dan and Eugene Levy did pretty good. They held together strong. They have a really good rapport. Of course they do. They're father and son. So they should. And it's kind of exciting how they handled it. They also, like, really built up the theme of, like, nostalgia for television, where we're, like, going to change the set. So it's like, hey, we're in Happy Days. Hey, we're in, like, a cop drama. Hey, we're like a doctor drama. We're like lawyers. Murphy Brown is here, everybody. And that's all kind of cool. And then, you're like, oh, this is going exactly how you expect it to. Was it annoying? There was a really good joke where Will Smith won, and he just said, no, I'm not Will Smith, I'm the other Will Smith. And I thought that was funny. It was a good joke. There was also the other Emmys, the primetime Emmys. They were last night. Then you had the Creative Arts ones that were held like a week before. And it was kind of like, yeah, those are all good winners too. We're not really going to talk about that. We're going to talk about like the big picture stuff. And I'm going off of the Hollywood Reporter's website to talk about like the winners. So it's not going to be in the order that everything was presented. I think it's kind of weird this year how like they kind of spaced out nominations. Some categories have 7, some have 8, some have 6. Very random. But that's television for you, baby. It's the number of shows, or the number of episodes in a show in a season or whatever. So Hollywood Reporter has it listed this way. Best Drama Series went to Shogun, which, not that it feels like a surprise, I'm just really glad it won. Out of everything on this list, it does feel like the only winner. The Crown is just going to get every nomination. Like I said, it's going to be an Abbott Elementary where no matter what happens, The Crown's getting the nomination. Shogun should be the one that won. And it did. And Best Actor in a Drama Series went to Hiroyuki Sanada, which was deserved. That was deserved. Oh my goodness. I like this category. For some reason, they like nominated Idris Elba for Hijack, if you can remember that. But man, Hiroyuki is such a deserving win. Incredible. And Onisawa, she also won for Best Actress in a Drama Series. Oh man, 2 good wins. I like that. You look at her competition, it sucks. I don't think anybody else on this list should win. I really like that she won. So off the gate, a lot of good stuff from Shogun. I love all of those wins. They're incredible. They're fun. Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series. This one had, surprisingly, 7 nominations, and it went to Elizabeth Debicki. I guess, like, why did The Morning Show get so many nominations? Is that show good? Like, nobody's watching The Gilded Age. I know that. So they're going to throw that in. That's like their cool, like, artsy one. But is The Morning Show so good that we can nominate that many people from the category? Is it? It can't be that good. Best Supporting Actor in a Drama Series went to Billy Crudup from The Morning Show, which he was nominated next to Mark Duplass and John Hamm from The Morning Show. And I'm like, what are we doing? I thought it was going to be someone from Shogun. I'd like Asano to win. I think he was deserving to win this one. I don't know. Very interesting. These are such weird choices. The Morning Show, Shogun, Slow Horses, The Crown. Those are the shows nominated the most at these things. I'm like, what are we doing? Slow Horses and The Crown? Are people still talking about those? Very weird. Very weird. But I'm not against it. Whatever. So here's where it gets interesting, in my opinion. Shogun deserved every win. That was great. Best Comedy Series. This was good. Like, I was very worried the bear was going to win because it just has that vibe. But it went to an actual comedy. And there was a joke in the actual show where Dan Levy's like, I know we were going to make the joke that the bear's not a comedy, but in true fashion of the bear, we're not going to make any jokes. It's funny and it's true. Every other thing on the list is funnier than the bear. The winner was Hacks, which really surprised me. Like, I think a lot of people were like, is Hacks even going to get anything? It's cool it's getting the recognition, but is it going to win? Best comedy series? Thank you. Oh, man. The last season of Hacks was incredible. If you haven't watched it, this show just is so genius, and it is so comedic and talks so much about its industry. I love it so much. It's an incredible experience. Now, here's the most controversial one, in my opinion. Best actor in a comedy series. I have a couple clear winners from this list. I would give it to Martin Short over who won. I'd give it to Matt Berry over who won. Even Steve Martin and DeFora Wanote, I would give it to them. But no, Jeremy Allen White once again wins for The Bear. Look, that is technically a comedy, but for like an actor in a comedy series, Jeremy Allen White is not giving a comedic performance. He's giving a very serious performance, and I don't think you should win the comedy series award if you are doing that type of performance. Like, that should not be what wins. I don't know. I find it very annoying. He shouldn't have won that one. It really should have been Matt Berry, honestly. What Matt Berry does in What We Do in the Shadows is insane, and I love that it got recognized and nominated, but he should have won because it's not Jeremy Allen White. Best actress in a comedy series. Again, I thought it was going to go to Io. I think we all thought Io Debris was going to like peer out of the woods and win again, which would be a good win, but it got a good win as well. It went to Jean Smart, which is kind of amazing. Quinta got one. Io got one already. Maya Rudolph and Kristen Wiig, they're fine. Selena Gomez, you'll have your time. You could get an Oscar nomination for Amelia Perez. That's what people are saying. We'll see what happens. But Jean Smart winning for Hacks, that's awesome. I genuinely love that. She deserved that. It's so nice to see that. Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series, that went to Eben Moss-Bachrach, which, I mean, of course it did. This was a very interesting list. I genuinely like a lot of the people that were nominated here. I think Paul W. Downs should have won because his is like the true comedic performance. Again, Eben is giving something that is comedic, but it's a little more serious at times, and I guess that's how you win these things. Tyler James Williams already won, I do believe, and Bowen Yang, he'll get something eventually. Paul Rudd doesn't need this. Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series went to Liza Colon-Zayas, and I'm like, yes, it should. This is I do like Eben Moss winning for The Bear. I like Liza winning for The Bear more. I think that is so earned. Now, do I want Hannah Einbinder to go home with the award? Of course I do, because I have a huge crush on Hannah Einbinder, but Liza did so good. Like, that is where I'm like, yep, that was the right choice. You made a really good choice, and that's how you should walk away from this. Really like that. A surprisingly good win that really pulled it off. We're going to see the Abbott crew nominated every year that show's on. I don't know if any of them are going to win the awards again. I don't see it happening. Best Limited or Anthology Series, the winner was Baby Reindeer, a show I haven't watched. I've heard very interesting things about it. It does not sound like something I need to experience or want to. I'm glad it exists. I'm glad it's getting recognition. Good win, in my opinion. That takes us to Best Actor in a Limited Series, where Richard Gadd did win for Baby Reindeer. He went home with a lot tonight, and I would say it's all deserved. Incredible stuff. Would I like to see Matt Bomer win? Of course I would, but I'm not going to complain about Richard Gadd getting any awards. I think what he did of that show is very compelling and unique, and all of his speeches were like, you have to kind of like support some of like the stuff we did here. So I think it's really cool that he did that. Now, Best Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series went to Jodie Foster, which I'm like, really? I liked her season of True Detective. I think it's very interesting. But I will say this. I'm looking at the list of nominated people. You have Jodie Foster, Brie Larson in Lessons in Chemistry, a show I like, Juno Temple in Fargo, Sofia Vergara in Griselda, which is okay, and Naomi Watts in Capote versus the Swans. Is that the best we could do? Like, I don't really like any of these nominations. So of them, I guess it goes to Jodie Foster. A lot of like legacy talent started to win this time. Gene Smart and Jodie Foster picking up some really good awards. And Hiroyuki Sanada, too. I'd say he's a legacy talent picking up some awards. So that's pretty cool. That's an interesting win. Okay, this gets interesting. The next one we're going to talk about here. Best Supporting Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series. This could have went a bunch of ways. Like, I think it could have easily went to Robert Downey Jr. if they want to play that card. I know Jonathan Bailey won the Critics' Choice. I really wanted Jonathan Bailey to win. My favorite performance in television from 2023 is Jonathan Bailey in Fellow Travelers. But the winner was Lamorne Morris in Fargo. And I'm like, are you serious? That really felt like the underdog, in my opinion. I had no idea he was going to pull that off. But he did. And I'm like, that's kind of amazing that he managed to pull it off. Not to sound like prudish or anything, but surprising. It was truly surprising, and I was so happy. It was not on my list at all for someone who was going to win. I'm glad he won. It's very cool, very deserved. He's a talent that has gone unrecognized for a while, and to see him actually get this nomination, it's incredible. And this win, oof, man, it feels great. Probably the biggest surprise of the night. I think a lot of people had Jonathan Bailey locked for that one. But no, it's cool to see Lamorne get that. Best Supporting Actress in an Anthology went to Jessica Gunning for Baby Reindeer. Another interesting win. This category also was do you give it to the people from Capote or any of this? I don't know. That's a great win. That's a really great win. I'm glad that happened. Jessica Gunning, another fun talent that deserved to win. So, Best Directing for a Drama Series went to Frederick Ioto for Shogun, which it had to. At some point, Shogun had to be recognized, for the directing, which I know is so lame to say. Of these shows that were nominated for directing, The Crown, The Morning Show, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Slow Horses, and Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty, Shogun passes all of those in terms of directing. What an incredible show. I don't think any of those are poorly made, but come on, it's Shogun. It's Shogun. That had to win. Best Directing for a Limited Series or Anthology Series went to Steven Zaillian for Ripley, which is cool. I have not seen Ripley, but I know people find it interesting. Cool. I would have lost my mind if Capote won. Why does Capote get all these nominations? I don't understand that. Best Directing for a Comedy Series went to Christopher Storer for The Bear, which I'm like, okay. Seems a little obvious. Why was Guy Ritchie nominated for The Gentleman? That's a weird choice to nominate. Whatever. But sure. I know what episode they nominated. It was Fish. It was the Fish episode where it's the big supper. Are you telling me that was a comedy? Was that really comedy or more just directing an episode of a drama? I don't know. I'm not going to fight it. Just saying, that's an interesting pick. A very interesting pick to pull from that. Best Writing for a Drama Series went to Will Smith, as we mentioned earlier, for Slow Horses. I'm like, okay. I would have easily picked Shogun for that. I would have... Fallout got a weird nomination there. Fallout got a couple weird ones, like Best Drama. Walton Goggins got a nomination. That's very interesting. I don't know if I would put Fallout for Best Writing, but Slow Horses is a really good show too, and it's got 4 seasons out. You might not even heard of it. It's got 4 seasons out. That's how incredible that show is. Okay. Best Writing for a Limited or Anthology Series went to Richard Gadd. Again, it was his night. It was his night to win everything. There was nothing he was going to lose. Everything he did was going to come up a winner. All deserved and all earned. He did incredible. And I really like the writing on all of these shows. Look, Black Mirror wasn't going to win. Noah Hawley, he's done enough. He's not going to win. Steve Zalian could have won again for that. Isa Lopez, she could have won. That would have been cool to see. Best Writing for a Comedy Series went to Lucia Anello, Paul W. Downs, and Jen Statsky for Hacks, which I'm like, yeah, a comedy won. I'm glad it wasn't The Bear. I don't want The Bear to win the comedy awards. It doesn't feel right to actual comedy shows. Because the rest of these are comedy shows. Abbott Elementary, Girls 5 Ever, the other two, What We Do in the Shadows. That one, that's The Bear? No. I'll give you the directing win for The Bear, not the writing for a comedy series. That feels disingenuous. Couple ones that were from the show as well. Best Writing for a Variety Special went to Axel Edelman, Just for Us. Not too familiar, but I'm for it. I think that's pretty good. I think that's kind of cool. I'll give you that win. Best Talk Series went to The Daily Show of Jon Stewart, and I'm like, really? I mean, I guess of any of these, it's the one that the old people in the Academy would watch. I don't think Jimmy Kimmel's as popular as people think. I don't think Seth Meyers is as popular as people think. Seth Meyers seems very unbothered by all of this. I have to respect him for that. Late Show, Stephen Colbert, whatever. I don't think anyone's watching. Oh, man. So Jon Stewart. There was a good bit where Kimmel's like, I thought you were supposed to retire. What are you doing here? That's kind of funny. I'll say that. Best Reality Competition Program went to The Traitors, which is the Alan Cummings-led one. If you have seen it, that's cool. I did not know it existed, but I'm glad it's winning. That's pretty sick. What else would you give it to? Top Chef, I guess? I don't know. RuPaul's Drag Race. Haven't they won a bunch already? I don't know. And Best Scripted Variety Series went to Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, where he talked about his dog who died, and they played sad music to play him off. And you're like, oh, yeah. Terribly brutal. The only F-bomb of the night did come from John Oliver when he told them to F off after they started playing music when he's talking about his dead dog. And that is truthfully sadistic of the Academy. Why would they do that? That's awful. What a weird thing to do to him. Or just do in general. Just book another hour, and if it doesn't go, play The Simpsons or something. It's ABC. They're technically own Fox, but not that version of Fox. I don't know. It's confusing. Just book another hour to let these people talk for a bit longer. Why are we rushing Hiroyuki Sanada doing his Japanese at the end of the show just to wrap things up? Let him talk. It's important. That show wasn't in English. Let him talk. Unrelated to the show or the Emmys at large, but did anyone else see Cosmo Jarvis on the red carpet looking a lot like Tom Hardy in the Brunson movie? Very crazy. Curious to see what he's going to do next, if he's going to stay on Shogun or, I don't know, do something else. We'll see. Good show. A lot of good winners. I'm glad Shogun won a lot. I'm glad Baby Reindeer won a lot. It's very exciting to see what's happened. You know, it's cool. So next year, what do we think is going to get it? Agatha all along is going to walk home with all the awards, do we think? Do we think that's going to happen? I don't think so, but who knows? It could. So that is going to do it for this episode, folks. We'll be back next week with a regularly scheduled episode talking about a topic that maybe is actually interesting. Until then, thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.